actually using a program called EV which allows us to stream to everyone today. If anyone would ever is ever interested in doing some live streaming, I suggest you find something that works. Maybe a little better than we have found. But again, we are here live streaming, and I will start with a little bit of screen sharing so I can show you what is going on with the project right now and some of the kids that we're sponsoring and talk about them and the villages a little bit more. So the first thing I have to do is start some screen sharing going on, and I'm doing the entire screen, and I'm doing screen number 2. So it's about to put a picture into a picture into a picture, which will go into infinity. Let's see. Add to scene. There we go. So I'm actually doing some screen sharing, and this is I have 2 monitors that I'm working with, and on the second one shows you um, what we want to have up for pictures. So I'm going to drag this down a little bit. Hopefully we won't lose it. And bring this up. And wow, maybe I don't want that. There. What I actually want is, there it goes. So this is the folder that we have that shows the kids in the scholarship program and some of the work that we do. And the first one I want to bring up, I can actually put these into full screen mode. There it goes. Okay. So the very first picture we had, this was a group of students from 2024, and most of them were new. And they're the younger kids that we're bringing to the program. And they went down and did their shopping trip in Leticia. So the very first thing we do is find scholarships, and then we try to match them up with the village kids who are in school. The very first year, we were only picking the best of the kids who had the highest, who were recommended by their professors. And actually, I see someone else who's joining us, and it's Paul, someone who's been in the village. So we have a person who is, I'm going to add you to the scene here, a person who has been to the village and a person who is going to go to the village. I'm going to drag you over
Hello.
here. Well, how are
Hello,
you?
everybody. Hello, beautiful watchers. Hello, beautiful Ben. It's good to
Yeah,
see
you
you
got it
again.
right in there. Yeah, as you as well. And I placed you there. And are you
I'm
still
comfortable right
down
here. Thank you.
south?
Hi,
Sorry?
hi, Paul.
Hello, Mr. Thomas Hardy.
Have you guys met? I don't think you've met like
I've seen your
definitely
name
not in person.
I've seen your name around, but never face to face. I don't know if this counts.
Hi, I, I'm, I'm on a smartphone. And
I think you're breaking up. We're losing your your
so,
audio.
so, so it looks like I have audio on my. I don't want to.
The last time it worked very well. I'm not sure what's going on this time. Okay. Anyway,
That's the way
Tom, you
these
can
things
work on
go.
the audio problems. Maybe it might be what you're selecting for a source or something, and I'll continue to talk about the scholarship program, and then Paul, you can enter in whenever you have something to add or something you've noticed. But I believe you actually, Paul, you were there about 6 months before I arrived, I believe, was it in April, March or April of 2024? Is that correct?
Was it 20? Yes. Yeah, it was 2024.
Yep.
Wow, 2 whole years ago. That's wild. And from what I understand, so much has changed since then.
Yeah, a lot. Both with in the program with us, we've expanded a lot. We have had a lot of work done at Gustavo's place. Gustavo is a main contact in the village. He helps run the scholarship program, also accepts volunteers, and maintains the buildings, basically. Yep, as well as runs his own tourism business, which is how most people find him. And I'd say probably the most successful part of our program now is, and I don't know if I've told you this, but Gustavo has 4 volunteers coming this month, or in the month of June, all
Wow.
young women, one
What are they
from
going to be
France,
doing?
another one from the United Kingdom, and from 2 other places, not sure where.
What will those volunteers be doing while they're there? Do you know?
A lot. The one I communicated with mostly is she speaks um, well French, as she's from France. Also
Mhm.
English and Spanish. So she'll be teaching English to the kids. She'll also be working the fields, doing maintenance work, painting, cleaning, just anything that she can.
Brilliant.
Also English and Spanish.
That's kind of like what I was, what I did when I was there. I just tried to lend a hand wherever I could.
Yeah, which is basically what we need. Like a lot of what we're doing is teaching about the culture and offering experience that you won't get at all when you go to, a tour group or go through the Amazon. That's one of the things that many people have said is that they've gone with a larger organization. Like there's a place called On Vacation that mainly has Colombians that go there, but they go onto a big boats are just transported up to a huge resort and then travel around in tour groups, and they don't see any of the real parts of the Amazon or learn or interact with the culture other than buying things and seeing them do some dances that are not as traditional as they could be.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, it's all a little bit of a facade. That's one thing for sure. If anybody out there is considering going to visit this incredible little spot in the world, I mean, you will not get a more real experience than that. I mean, it's not, right, Ben? Like, it's not a tourist destination at all. It's just a village. They're just trying to live and do their daily like life, and they just welcome you with open arms to participate, however, in whatever capacity you would like to, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, if you ever wanted to try digital detox, get away from cell phones and everything, it's very easy to do. Maybe sometimes too easy.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Okay, I have
It
actually
looks like we've
someone.
got action over here. We've got a visual on Mr. Hardy.
Oh, good. Yes, you have framed yourself in the shot.
Oh, yeah, it's because I'm working between my smartphone and I'm trying to do it on my laptop. And I was seeing that I
Oh,
was frozen over on the laptop. So I've been doodling with two electronic devices. And then it seems to be there's some kind of a delay in there on top of I don't doubt it. I'm 3,000 miles from you guys.
Where are you coming from? Where are you tuning
Lewiston, Idaho, at the eastern border of Washington, is right on the western border of Idaho. So all I have to do to get over to this place that I'm at Lewis Clark State College, but is just across the Snake River, and it's a long way from Maine. I'll tell you that.
Wow. Wow, and I'm tuning in from Asheville, North Carolina. So also a considerable amount from Maine, but probably not that far.
Well, I was on the AT one time in '75. I went from Georgia to Maine, so I
Oh,
kind
you
of
did the
came.
whole thing.
Yeah, I did in one shot.
Amazing. How long did it take you? Like 3 months
I
ish?
st- I started May 3rd, and I got up to Mount Katahdin the 8th of September, and I kind of, wow, man, it was so amazing. But the things that I recall, not so much. Oh, there were lots of views off the trail, but it was the incredible people I met and founts of information, and I was constantly having to battle between getting miles on the trail and just standing around talking to people. And I found that both were really important. So it's learning about life.
That's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I can vouch for that. So many cool people on the trail. I've never done the whole thing in one go, but I've done a fair chunk of it. Um, and
What
generous people, just friendly, boisterous, chipper. It's great.
Well, and the thing of it is, it's a matter of courtesy. I mean, you approach somebody and you say hello, and then you never know if they're actually a professor at Duke University or whatever. And of
Yeah,
course, we didn't have the internet back in '75, so I was just learning that the importance of a balance between, well, not being a hermit and just, well, there was a guy from Maine that didn't talk much, and so we all had our different personalities and stuff, and I was just learning. And like I said, we didn't have internet then, but the same kind of reaching out to get information, well, not only in college, but I mean, just folks you meet in public. And now, with the internet, I spend weekends following podcasts with geniuses that go to Harvard and everything. So it's still the same story. I'm still trying to pick up information and
Yeah.
orient.
How would one handle a fundraiser back then?
Oh man, it was mail. Oh my God, just mountains of mail. Um, yeah, actually doing the trail. I found that there were so many crossings of the trail by roads that I was just able to junk food it out. I mean, that I didn't have to carry as much stuff as I thought I would have to because I just kept, and I learned about those little containers of frozen orange juice and stuff, and I was able to choose the healthy stuff, and I went bananas. Oh, and I learned. I actually made some errors. Well, there was a long stretch in northern Georgia. I didn't think it was going to be quite that long to get up into Virginia, and so there was just a high location, and there were no road crossings, and I was literally down to the last few granola bars and stuff, and I didn't feel good, and I sat down and I ate a granola bar, and I took a sip, and then I snapped back to normal. So I knew what was going on, and you could see my
Oh,
ribs and all that kind of thing, and I
I
knew it was.
interrupt you for a second.
Sure, go ahead, you bet.
Okay, so we're trying to get Roberto to join up from Vista Alegre. He's the newest location that we're working with. We have a little bit of a problem. I'm not sure what happened, but he's in the dark. He may have lost power. So have you, Paul? You did not go to the Peruvian side, correct?
No, we were not affiliated with them yet in 2024. That was
Oh,
last year. That was a last year connection that we made, right?
yes, it was. Did you talk with him? Were you on it when we Oh, there he is. He is
I've
here.
had a I've had a brief video chat with him. Yeah, from
Okay.
from the last stream I think that we did.
Yes, so I'm dragging him down now and have him over there. Okay, Roberto, hola Roberto, ¿puede escucharme?
Sí, señor, fuerte y claro, le escucho.
Bueno, por la última vez usted tenía un ruido de ventilador atrás y esta vez no.
Señor, fuerte y claro, le escucho.
Hey, por favor, acercar a su micrófono poquito mejor más, porque no puedo escuchar nada.
Él
So I
no,
just
no,
told him
no
the
habla.
last time we were talking to him, we couldn't hear him because he had a fan in the background.
Well, we heard him a second ago. I can hear the
Yeah.
speaker audio from his speaker.
So yes, as you can tell, we
Hola,
had
Roberto. Bienvenido.
Bienvenido. Yo le veo.
Sí, señor.
Aumenta, aumentar el volumen.
I think maybe it's just a slow connection. It takes a
Ahora sí.
minute to get to him and back.
ahora sí.
Sí, señor.
Bien. ¿Cómo están las
¿Sí me
cosas en
escucha?
Alegre?
Bueno, señor, las cosas en Vista Alegre están yendo bien. Por el momento, gracias a Dios, está yendo bien. Y pues en el trabajo, en el estudio, los niños también. Y esperar que este año sea algo como de progreso para los niños que están estudiando y también en el trabajo que estamos haciendo ahorita.
Okay, so Roberto just said that things are going well in Vista Alegre, and he's looking forward to the upcoming year, to the progress that are being made with the students in the scholarship program, and also to what we're building um, for the program's facilities in Vista Alegre, basically. ¿Y cómo están los niños en las becas? ¿Cómo están los colegios estudiando?
¿Quién es? ¿Quién es?
Los niños por el momento, ahorita yo conversaba con los papás y estaba conversando con los profesores ahorita que ya entramos al primer trimestre. Eh, vamos a reportar el boletín de diciembre que pasó, del 2025 al 2026. Vamos a reportar mañana, posiblemente el lunes por la mañana, voy a ir allá al colegio y tomar algunas evidencias con los niños que están en la beca y volverles a enviar a ustedes que están por allá en el extranjero, pues.
Oh, very good. Muy bien. Okay, so he just said that he's been talking with the teachers and also with their parents. They're doing well. And one of the things we're requiring this year, especially, we've done it before, is that they give copies of the report cards. So that's one of the requirements to going into the program of the scholarships this year is that they don't have the evidence that they've been going to school, then they are taken out of the program and we can get someone who does have evidence. Because sometimes the kids don't go and they say they're going, and we'd want to avoid that.
How how can you how can you enforce that? How can you verify?
We they take photocopies, Shmi, of pictures with their cell phones of their report cards and send them to me, and then I read them through them. They don't have enough advanced technology to to forge them, but they wouldn't anyway. What's one thing about this is that the kids and the parents and everyone is always looking out for everyone else, and they tell us if anything else is wrong. Even when some kids like they're out for a week, and someone will call me and say, "Oh, someone so and so hasn't been to school in a week. What are you going to do about it?" And we don't. Sometimes I'll talk to the kids and who, if I know them, and if I can get a hold of them easily and see, what's going on. And usually they've been excused. Sometimes they're sick. Sometimes they have to go and work or something for a shorter time, but they come back.
We should we should host an awards ceremony next time. Next time we do a live stream for the kids who have the best grades.
Yeah, yeah, actually, it's a good idea. We can, because I'm going to start every one of the kids in the program. In fact, I can even show this. It might be kind of interesting. Has a folder that we keep, and I think it just came up on the screen. And over here, it's there it is, student sponsor program. And now we're doing it. Oh, say the first year we did this is back in 2017, and now in 2006, like we'll take the first student, and we have a little bit. So we have an information sheet about Carlos. He's and it shows about his, his name, about his family, about the students, what color they like, and who sponsors him. And then then we also have the pictures of the kids, which you can kind of see a bit. And this is when I'm going to start putting the report cards. So every year we'll have everything we need to keep track of them and to show the evidence that we have and just to see how
Can
they're doing. And
can I
from
see
that
those
we can
pictures again?
report card.
Up close.
And hola, hola. Okay, mis sobrinos están acá y mi hermana. But you can speak English. You can come over here. You can see. Come over here.
Okay, come on. Do you see the little camera?
Your little camera, and you can kind of see your face right in there.
Okay, come here, Al. Here
Mateo, Elia,
Here's Ellie.
mi hermana Cristal, and
Hola,
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 ¿qué tal,
Elia.
familia?
and Crystal. She was in the village 2 times back in 2014 and 2017 or something like that.
Wow.
And she's on the board of directors as well. So now we have three of our directors here. Wow, I think that's the most directors we've had together in like years since our early days.
Yeah.
Which-
I guess there was probably no Starlink back then in the village.
yeah. So yeah. So this is the whole wow. What am I doing there? So that was the program and how we keep track of everything. So we really do try to keep track of it, and every year we update them. I'll go through a couple more pictures here. Let's see if I can find. That's Pastor Jorge, and he works with us in the village of La Libertad to help coordinate and get pictures of kids and get their report cards and everything else. In fact, he's helping us a lot, as well as Gustavo and anyone else who has a camera. And as we get the pictures, we uploading them and then sending them along to the different sponsors. So we really try to give them information about, how their kids are doing. And it's also neat because if the kids know looking at what they're doing, then they'll usually be more studious with their studies and going to school. I think some of the reasons, some of the times only use school is because they know that one of us, the volunteers, is coming down and we'll see if they are or aren't in school. Oh, this is a neat picture. This is Gustavo's youngest, no, second youngest son. Oh, and I was down there the very first year I went, and I think he's 8 years old in the picture. And what's neat about that is the second picture shows him. That's Duvan or Hector, Gustavo's youngest. And now he has a daughter in the program, the scholarship program. Leslie, with his wife and his baby, newest baby. Yeah, he does. The smile is very much the same, and then the face and everything. And he's very supportive of as well as this is what the traditional dress. And they don't wear this anymore at all. Now they wear regular clothes because they say they're much more comfortable, and they only wear this when they're doing like traditional dances for the tourists to come. What's happening? Every year, once a year, we go down and do a big trip. So the scholarship is $140 per student per year, and in that, part of it counts for transportation costs down Leticia, a meal, and then buying things. And this is getting more difficult now as the dollar is losing its value and inflation is going up terribly, especially in Colombia. And is some more of the kids, like if people are watching, you can actually see your student here and their parent, whoever accompanied them at the time. This is a picture that was taken upstairs in the guest house. Paul, you may remember the upstairs of the two-story guest house.
Arriba.
Yep, arriba, la parte arriba. And that's our solar panels. And Tom, I'd like to thank you for sending down a solar power inverter. Um, uh, Not inverter, but yeah, it is an inverter to change the solar power into electrical power that they can use because unfortunately it blew out last about a little over a month ago, 6 weeks ago, almost 2 months by now.
Listo, no problem.
Sí, muchas
I
gracias.
enjoyed it.
Estaba diciendo a ellos, primero estaba mi hermana y mis sobrinos, y estaba diciendo sobre el programa de becas y la contabilidad y cómo estamos guardando los archivos y las fotos y toda la gerencia. Y también tenemos como que, oh, el inversor de poder. Tomás, estamos hablando con él ahora. Él estaba como muy amable y generoso para regalar un inversor de poder para Gustavo, porque el inversor de él dañó hace como 2 meses. So that's pretty much everything that we said.
Sí, está bien.
Sí. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más pasa? Mucho mejor la conexión ahora. Puedo entender usted mejor y no mucho ruido. Mejor que antes. Pero ahora tiene un Starlink bien. Antes no. Creo la primera vez usted no tenía Starlink. So now Roberto has a Starlink that we provided. But what's really good about the program, both with Roberto and with Gustavo, is that well, we provided the hardware and the connections, and we helped teach them. Then they've assumed total responsibility for paying for it, the monthly rate, which is actually when you go down to Colombia or Peru, it's kind of expensive. But they've been very responsible with it. So estoy diciendo a ellos, estamos muy contentos. Usted y Gustavo están pagando para um, el costo del Internet de Starlink, porque podemos ayudar con comprando el Starlink con las conexiones, pero ahora ustedes tienen responsabilidad para pagar para las facturas mensuales for the monthly bills. So estamos, gracias a Dios, y ustedes pueden cumplir con esta. Gracias a Dios.
Ujú.
There. I usually don't switch back and forth between Spanish and English so quickly, especially when I'm live streaming. But it's kind of neat. I'm getting better at it. See how we doing on time. So we're moving along well. Oh, good. It's 4:30. We may have Gustavo joining us a little bit later if I told him at 4:45 Pacific time, 7:45 on our time, on Eastern time. Let's see. Other questions about the scholarship program or comments? Let's suppose. So Paul, why do you like sponsoring a student in the Amazon? And you know Tyler, Taylor. What's his name? Yeah, I think it's Taylor.
I mean, it makes me happy. It gives me this kind of connection to somebody from very far away in a very special way. And I mean, it's as I've seen all over the world. I just came back from India. I was in India and Nepal for 2 months doing a lot of film work for a company that fights human trafficking. And, little girls go through some really terrible things there. Not to, direct attention away from our friends down here in the Amazon, but education is the fix. Education is the thing that like
Oh yeah.
that can solve it all. If these if the girls in India, if kids in this village can get access to a good education, they immediately have access to a good life, a better life, better. They have options, they have choices, they have places they can go, they have ways to support themselves, support their families, and bring back income and support and flowing back into their entire communities. So
Oh yeah.
it all starts with that. Ben, was it you who told me? No, it wasn't you. I have another friend who does this kind of work, and his wife is more of like a protester, front lines kind of activist. And anyway, my point is, he says that she's out there putting fires and he's out there planting seeds. Education, getting kids education is the seed, the planting seed. I know that's like an analogy that's done to death, but it is true. There's no other
Yeah,
way around it.
yeah. Like we originally started out with trying to help and improve their health by water, by sanitation, but anything we made, if we weren't right there to maintain it ourselves, they didn't keep up with it. Either couldn't because they didn't have the money, because they didn't have the knowledge. Then we thought, oh, they don't have the money to it. We should help them with a sustainable business. So we started trying to develop businesses and helping them plan that, but they didn't have the understanding of accounts, of saving. They just take the money that they made for the profits and didn't put it back into maintaining the business. So that fell apart. Then we saw everything. The base of everything was education. If they could understand how to read and write, how to do math, they could understand what accounts were, what rights they had in the law, and they could be successful. We believe that's it. So,
100%.
which is a
And
scholarship program.
and the best part about it is, I know right now, Ben, and especially when I talk to you personally and you're telling me about all the daily struggles that you're having to figure out with it feels sometimes like you're getting nowhere, or that we're like everybody's dragging their feet. But the more kids that get education, the more influence they have over their peers, and the more that they are able to contribute to their communities, that contribute to each other. When they grow up, they might want to become an educator themselves, or at least like bring back some fraction of knowledge to their families, their friends, their neighbors, and they're going to set an example, and that's going to grow the whole movement. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be this chain reaction. It starts small, and right now I think we're still in that small phase, but that shit's just going to keep growing, and it's going to get easier and easier, and it's going to turn into a wave of progress, for everyone involved.
I think it will, and that's like what you said about the kids who were first in the scholarship program when we started it, 8 years ago, are now starting to be voting members of the community, and they have different outlooks on what we're trying to do and the direction the community should go. Partly because of the education, they also trust us more, whereas the older people, sometimes it's so hard for them to change the mentality and what they expect and their work ethics. Not that they have a poor work ethic at all, but it's just different, and it goes more towards day-to-day living and not goes towards the future and trying to really develop things.
Hmm. That must be so amazing of a feeling, Ben, to to see that happen right before your eyes, to see your work that you've been doing for so many years literally come to fruition like that.
Yeah, and the kids remember what it is we're teaching them. Like there was a terrible problem with drug and alcohol and people being drunk on the streets everywhere. and that culture is slowly changing. And I believe part of that is, we had some of the first bathrooms in the whole community, and after they saw the bathroom, they started making it. We also would preach, like not always drinking, but yet drinking in moderation, or like when it's appropriate, and not just all the time, and showing the kids that there is. You can have fun and enjoy your life and do things without always going to alcohol.
Yep. I can make a contribution. Are you guys hearing me okay?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, I was just going to say I'm working with some software called Keywix. I'm going to try to figure out how to put Keywix, which is all of Wikipedia knowledge, onto my laptop offline. So basically, I'll be able to talk about any, in that abbreviated kind of way that Wikipedia goes. And so Wikipedia is entirely open source, and I'm looking for other websites that will permit open there. I'm going to see how far I can get with it. And so I'll have that laptop with all that information, and I'll be able to look up stuff. But then I'll always be open, while I'm there to a teachable moment, and when I can get stuff across, because I like kids, and I've taken some online education courses with Coursera. And group dynamics. You find out the more interested and alert students actually become allies of the teacher, and you can actually use them, for focusing the attention of the other students, so their minds don't wander, or they don't show up for school or whatever. So yeah, it would be a wonderful experience to go down and do that. I'd really enjoy it. Also, Paul, I'd like to get your contact information at some point. Uh, I'm possibly Ben can give that to me, so I can chat with you or email you some information about your experiences down there.
Certainly. Do you have plans to visit sometime soon?
Yeah, I'd like to be doing it. I don't know. I'm kind of looking at what Trump is doing and stuff, but I see Ben is shaking his head. There's no time like right now. The
Yeah.
longer I wait, the more the airline ticket is going to cost. I know, I know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, so what you said about the programs, like we did start to bring down some tablets. We actually, Paul, you donated 2 tablets that the kids are still using, and if we can
Oh, I
put
got a
some
few more for you, by the
or
way.
tie it in
Yes.
with, like, oh, great, bring them down when you guys go down to visit, and because they have an academy especially has programs in Spanish now that really help kids. So Roberto, estamos diciendo cosas sobre Khan Academy como tabletas y como estudiando y maneras para mejorar los colegios. Y también sobre el Trump y los problemas de viajando y aviones y todo. Pero si Tomás se va a las Amazonas en los próximos meses, y Paul Basile. Paul, do you know when you're going back now? You still don't have a time, or
I don't know, man. When are you going back? July?
I'm back in.
Oh, wait, July I'll be in Kenya.
So,
August, maybe June.
I'll be there in part of August. Actually, I haven't told you guys yet, but I have to have a hip replacement surgery, which
Yeah.
threw off all of my time. I had a motorcycle accident back in Colombia like 15 years ago. But so I am going down on the 22nd, June 22nd, a few days after I get out of school here, and then I will be there until July 22nd. Then I'm coming back, and then having the hip surgery on August 5th, and
Oh,
hopefully I'll be good for the Amazon for the following year. So go down for 2 months.
Okay, so you will not be there in August. You'll be
I
home
will
in
be there
August.
from, no, I will not. I will be
Be
there
June and
from,
July.
yeah, basically end of June and for up until the third week of July. But I can get everything ready for you,
Yeah.
and maybe you'll be there.
Cool. Yeah.
And you have options of two different villages now.
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
Plenty of work to do.
And I
My
showed you
social skills are
up
only sharp.
on the big picture, and his name is spelled. This doesn't seem like what they call him, Jake. I think his name, it sounds like Jace Tyler, I believe. and that he's with a cake. And in the
Is this
background, you see
this is
the
in the new kitchen?
yeah, this is your the kid you sponsor. It's what's his name, son? Victor's son.
Yeah, he looks kind of like Victor, doesn't he? He's
Yep,
grown up.
he's Peruvian, more the Peruvian side. Yeah, he's even bigger now. I took that about almost a year ago. And this
Oh,
is the background. We added 2 more meters onto the kitchen, and we put a really nice storage shed because we don't want the rats and everything to get in our food, cockroaches, all those things. And that's what was a nice table. And we have a really big stove. So if you like cooking, you can go down there and cook.
yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see
Uh,
that.
yep. Yeah. Let's see other things. I think we're at 4:23 now, so we have another 20 about another 20 minutes before we log off. And we haven't had anyone else join us. And again, if anyone's listening to this would like to join us, please, you can on Facebook or the links to join.
Tarde
Very
su
first-
madre. Ay,
So, ¿cómo están las cosas en horas de oscuro en Vista Alegre? Es por
sí,
la noche,
señor, se va a la luz a las 6 de la tarde y llega por ahí a las 11 de la noche.
porque a las 6. So, ahora estás como casi a las 7, ¿cierto? It's almost 7 o'clock.
Ujú, sí.
Oh,
Y
sun
el
goes
agua.
down.
¿Qué pasa con el agua? So I'm a little bit worried about the level of the water. Like usually in the Amazon, it starts getting dry in July and it's starting in August. That's their summer. In the summer, it is dry. In the winter, whatever, whenever it rains is what they call the rainy season. And this year, it's about 2 to 3 months earlier than it should have been. That it's starting. So, ¿cómo está el agua, el nivel de agua? ¿Está bajando más o tiene más lluvia? ¿Cómo está?
Ahorita hay mucha lluvia y el agua está detenido ahí, no sube ni baja, está en un nivel perfecto para cortar la madera y todo eso. Está bueno, el Amazonas ahorita no está mermando ni subiendo el agua.
Okay, good. So I just had news that it isn't going up, it isn't going down, it's holding steady. And we're trying to complete a storage shed and a gasoline and like a combustible shed. And he says that the level of the water is very good for that. So you can go in. So it's so hard to get wood and to go and to travel around when the water level is down very much. In fact, into the La Libertad, the other village where we work, the difference between the dry season and the wet season, you have to hike about 2 kilometers further um, just to get to the village, like all across, I don't know, sandbars and gravel, like everywhere. It's a lot more travel, a lot more work.
Wow.
But hopefully that doesn't, and last year was the worst year on record for drought, and the year before
Mm.
was the second worst year. And a lot of the things down there, the dolphins, the fish, everything was dying. Manatees were all dying. I talked to one person who provides counseling services to the military, and the military had to go in and clean out the carcasses of the fish and the animals and the other things because it was interfering with tourism because it was so bad. And she said they were upset as well. It was pretty bad. So and that's another result of climate change, I guess. And I heard that this year is a super El Nino effect. That's what they're calling it. What may happen. So, not to be like pessimistic. Well, yeah. So if you
So,
want to get to the Amazon, go down while it's still there because I don't know how
so,
Yeah.
long it
so if there were a super El Nino, is that going to translate into a
dry.
drought and dryness?
Yeah,
Oh,
dryness because the
mm.
warmer the water is heating, and the heat is rising up and sinking down. It just devastates the fishing, and plus causes more drought. But it may cause more rain, a little bit more rain over on the eastern side of South America. But the rainforest works, but through transpiration. So it creates its own weather patterns. And as 70% of all the water that falls in the Amazon is just recycled from the transpiration from other trees before it, on the predominant weather patterns or air movements. but they're cutting it down at a rate so great that it's interrupting the transpiration and it's causing the area to become arid and become a desert. It's happening now. That's what happened a lot of times in Africa. You get at a tipping point, and you hope that it doesn't reach that. That's another
Well,
reason why it's important to have education and know that
well,
they can't clear cut.
yeah. Well, I've seen air circulation on some websites. It shows the reddish sands of the Sahara getting blown across the South Atlantic or
Yep.
across the Atlantic Ocean. I thought it kept on going right up the Amazon River, hits the Andes, and then it rains that way against the Andes. That's variable, I suppose, huh?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I know that yes, any big climatic changes and like same with volcanoes when they have the volcano erupts with enough force, it will spread the ash all over the world and cause possibly other things. Speaker connect. Paul, you're connecting. You're moving. That's weird. Something's
I
connecting.
think my connection is terrible. It keeps going in and out. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just wondering what's beeping. There's something beeping at my father's. At our father's over there. Something going on there too. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I guess one thing we've talked about is how important it is. I'd like to talk about a couple of other things with the scholarship program, and that's that really what we're trying to do is give them an alternative to what most of them do is go into the coca trade and work in the coca fields. And for those of you who don't speak Spanish, I guess coca isn't like cocoa; it's the cocaine. And we've had 2 kids especially who are in the program right now who both left, school, went over and worked in the coca fields in Peru, and then came back. And, we're very happy about that they came back. And I think most of it had to do with food, I believe, food and how bad it was over there and the improper sanitation. But also hopefully they see the value. They see that it will give them something. It will give them more opportunities. And while they still face a lot of challenges into what they're going to do, even if they graduate and can read and write well, it's a part. Without that, they wouldn't be able to do anything. So we just believe for so many reasons that the education is good. It's an alternative to working in the coca industries. Sí, Roberto, estoy diciendo queremos ellos estudiar más, mejor en colegio para tener más oportunidades, no solo para trabajar con la coca, pero para tener negocios, para ir a estudios avanzados como enfermeros o como doctores o abogados o solo como negociantes para algo. Pero sin estudiando, si no pueden escribir, pero no pueden leer, no pueden hacer matemáticas, ellos no tienen muchas oportunidades y más oportunidad para trabajar con la coca. ¿De verdad?
No, por acá no, acá en donde nosotros vivimos en Vista Alegre, Perú, los niños siempre se están enfocando en el estudio. Ellos no piensan nada de eso. En sentido común no pueden ir por allá porque ahorita la erradicación de la COVID y más los muchachos de aquí que han terminado sus estudios solo han quedado acá por las oportunidades. No había oportunidades para salir a estudiar más por allá y algunos, pero los que están estudiando ahorita en las becas, todos los muchachos se están poniendo viciosos para estudiar y es algo mejor. Dale gracias a ustedes que están apoyando la beca acá a Vista Alegre, Perú, y que los niños están poniendo interés, pues, y no pensar de eso, en verdad, por eso es cambiar la forma de vida de los niños que están estudiando ahorita.
Okay, so he's saying that they don't have that problem when they stay in school. Is that the kids who don't go to school, then they have more chances of going to that. And he's also saying thank you very much to us and the program, the scholarship program, for giving them this, because without it, they wouldn't have the opportunities. So he's very grateful for that, and hopefully we can bring more to those guys next year. So our goal is to raise 45 scholarships this year and meet all of them that we did last year. And if kids do come out, we're going to start giving them to other kids, and we'll probably eventually. My goal is to have them an equal number in both Vista Alegre and in La Libertad, and then some also support the other organization, the school down um, in Leticia. So with those 3 areas, we're gonna help. Si yo estaba diciendo, yo quiero como igual número de alumnos en La Libertad y en Vista Alegre y un poquito como 4 o 5 en Leticia. Somos más igual. So queremos ampliar las becas en Vista Alegre y, un poquito menos en La Libertad. Pero con suerte podemos tener suficiente para todos algún día. Someday, hopefully, we can have sufficient scholarships for everybody. But in the future, yeah.
Sí, entonces yo quiero que las oportunidades como de empleo ahora oriundo de turismo y también la producción de castaña y cacao es muy importante. Entonces, bueno, podemos tener un esquema de madera, capirona y los árboles altos y aprovechar del sombra para proteger los arbustos de cacao, porque el cacao está escaseando en el mundo. Entonces es otra oportunidad. Yo creo que radica en
Ingeniero.
cacao y castaña.
Sí, por acá en Vista Alegre, Perú, hay mucha capirona. Las capironas siempre nosotros estamos conservando, pero no hay una iniciativa para poder trabajar la capirona, porque hay mucha capirona por acá.
Little animals,
Ah,
the big rodents.
sí, sí. Ah, pero hay otra, cedro, hay otra,
Big.
guayabo, hay arbustos frutales también, ¿no?
Sí, camo camo, como el camo camo,
Ajá.
eh, guayaba, también tenemos el cacao, que por aquí no se está trabajando por acá eso, porque en Perú había un convenio con Colombia, estábamos trabajando con maderas, como el aguaje, estábamos trabajando con una madera que se llama macacaúba, cedro, capirona, también estábamos sembrando el azaí, el
Ah,
aguaje que llamamos que da oxígeno, eso estábamos trabajando, pero ellos se alejaron de nosotros, yo era uno de ellos que trabajaba, yo era un miembro de la directiva de ellos, pero ya no volvieron más, solo
ah,
eh, no volvieron más, no sé qué pasó, no sabemos nada de ellos y hay muchas personas aquí que tienen sembríos de madera y
ah,
frutas.
ah, ah.
You want me to
En el, y yo recuerdo que en el Perú había otro fruto que se llama pifuayo. Hay pifuayo en Leticia.
Sí, hay cantidad en lo que es Colombia, acá en el Perú también, pero sino que la gente, digamos, como le digo, no hay una iniciativa de trabajar y conservar el mundo entero con plantas y frutas y todo eso es algo muy hermoso, ¿verdad? Pero sino que la cuestión de la coca, todo eso vino a destruir la selva, pero aquí nosotros vivimos, donde nosotros vivimos, aquí en este lugar, es muy tranquilo, no hay sembrío de coca, no hay nada, entonces la gente se pone a sembrar plantas, árboles así, maderable y frutas también.
Y yuca también, ¿no? Cassava o manihot esculenta. O sea, yuca, ¿no?
Tom,
Hay yuca.
Tom,
Sí,
Ok.
Tom,
sí, siempre
Tom, can you hear me?
mucha yuca,
Un
las
momento, por
personas,
favor.
yuca, plátanos, varios tipos de sembríos se siembra aquí en el Amazonas, yuca, plátano, sandía,
In, in,
eh,
ingiri. Hay ingiri.
sí,
Ah, yeah,
sí,
okay.
plátano.
Ah,
Ingiri es plátano.
okay, okay,
Ajá.
okay.
Hey, did you want to say a little bit of what you guys were talking about and translate for our English speakers, please?
Oh, I was just talking about some sort of well shelter wood. There's probably fairly well. That capirona tree that we were talking about is the tallest tree. It's also quite valuable, and unfortunately, with the rubber barons and so forth, they would. There was a lot of waste in the old days. They would cut I wasn't saying this necessarily, but the history of it is there's a lot less of those tall valuable trees because it was wasted. They would cut them down in order to make space to grow crops and so forth, but they wouldn't take advantage of the trees because there was no infrastructure to get the wood out. Mahogany was another one. A lot of wood was wasted. And all I was saying that if you're growing chocolate, you can do it in a shelterwood way. You can be growing trees to provide shade and at the same time sheltering your chocolate. And yeah, is all we were talking about.
Okay. So again, a lot of these things we'd have to educate the people as to what we're doing. And once, they graduate from school, they can read and write, they can do mathematics. It just they're ready to learn and to do something, to do more, take it beyond what they traditionally did, just fishing and working and menial tasks and doing things like so. Hopefully, with our program and with everyone's support. So we are at the end of our broadcast. Estamos terminando el live stream. Entonces, gracias por atendiendo. Thank you for attending, everyone. If you would like to sponsor a student in the Amazon, we have a QR code up in the down in the lower right-hand corner of our broadcasting screen. We also have ways on Facebook and LinkedIn, and I've been sending out emails to all of our supporters and people who have given scholarships out in the past. So again, thank you, Tom. Thank you, Roberto. And if you're still out there listening, Paul, thank you for joining us. I'll send you an email a little bit later. And algo más. No.
Con mucho gusto a todos.
Bueno,
Igual
hasta luego.
manera,
Gracias.
igual manera.
Just say goodbye.
Gracias,
Chao.
cuídense, que Dios los guarde.
Oh,
Chao, chao.
chao.
Bien, gracias.
Ya,
Ok,
de nada.
señores, bueno,
Bye.
Chao.
de nada, igual manera.